play games about that. And there needs to be other resources for these women that are in Florence McClure, Jean, and Casa Grande to give them more resources.
All right, good morning and welcome back to Vegas Veteran Voices, the podcast where we do things a little bit differently, talking to vets who do unique things for passion, purpose, or therapy. Today we're talking with Evelyn Pacheco. Evelyn, how are you doing today?
I am doing great, and thank you for allowing me to have a voice to be able to speak on here today.
Of course, we love the Nevada Women's in Trades. You guys do excellent work, and we've talked before.
Yes, we have.
First off, you were in the Army, right?
Yes, thank you. Go Army. So I was a light wheel mechanic. So we did the diesel trucks. It was a different experience, I have to say that, right? I mean, as a child, I loved tinkering with things and fixing things, and never would imagine as a little girl that I was going to go into the military. Never thought about it.
But yet, there you did.
I'm glad I did. I am.
Yeah, so what made you join the Army in the first place?
I think it was the rebel part of me, to be really honest. I wanted to do something. I knew that there was more to be done. And as a young black woman, I wanted to do my part. I wanted to make my mark in society.
Did that influence your decision to enter the trades afterwards?
It's, I believe it had a lot to do with how I'm coordinating right now in my business, Nevada Women in Trades. The military has brought me strength, that part in me, forging on, not giving up. And so I'm very grateful that I went through the military because it has helped me a lot to stay focused on the mission. So, yes, got out of the military, had kids, moved here, still didn't even know I was going to be down this path, and got into the trades, and from there ended up doing this program to help women to be able to get into the trades.
And before that program, you became Nevada's first black female union plumber. Did you realize at the time that you were making history?
No, I didn't. I had no clue that I was making history. Actually, it's interesting because people ask me, well, how did it feel? And what did you act like on the jobs? And I would, no, I did not even know. Because when you're in a position and in a place to where you need to feed your family, take care of your family, and make sure you eat and provide for your family and yourself, there was not a focus, right, of getting on the job and looking around and seeing that I was the only black woman on most of the jobs. And actually, even my engineering position I had at Fitzgerald, that is now Mr. D's, I was also the only black woman there in that position in the engineering department. So, very proud of that now. And
Yeah. I mean, you have to be. You put in the hard work, time, dedication, studying nights, raising 3 kids. What kept you going through it?
It was a lot. And got a divorce too in the process of all of that too. I do again go back to the military. I believe that was the really big driving force for me to know not to give up, to keep forging. Because we all know in the military, it's not like you can go back and ask your drill sergeant or anybody, what did you tell us to do? Why are we supposed to be doing that? We know that's a no-no to begin with. We all know that. And we know when we get our marching papers, we know that we finished the mission, period. And this is great, and it's helping a lot of women in the state of Nevada, and inspiring also too.
Yeah, because they need it, honestly. Like, there needs to be more programs and it needs to be more easily accessible, and you guys are doing what it needs to be done to pave the way to make it easy, like an easy transition.
Yes, And it has to be, and that's a lot of because I have came up with the curriculum, everything. It's just, this is all me, that's created this. And I wanted to create it because I knew things that I was missing. I knew there's things that I needed. I know there was resources that I wish I would have had, right? And even
Mm-hmm.
as a woman coming out of the military, you want to make decent money. You kind of get
Yeah.
adapted to making a certain type of money. And no pun on McDonald's again, everybody. I'm not trying to put it, but I'm probably going to mention McDonald's a few times in this right here. But who wants to make McDonald's money? But then
Mm-mm.
think about it. How can you afford a house, apartment, a car, pay your bills, and
Yeah.
that kind of gets right? So very
It
hard.
gets old. Like, we are too grown to be making teenager money. We really are.
I like it that way. I'm glad you put it like that because that's the truth, right? And
Yeah.
and even with you saying that, right? You got to grow up. Sometimes it's
Yeah.
time to grow up, right?
And some people need that harsh truth. They really do.
And they don't accept it either, right? And
No.
and that's the other part of it. I pass my business cards and everywhere I go. If I'm in Burger King, McDonald's, Walmart, or I'm just walking around somewhere, because you really see people that are out of place. Like, and I even say it like, why are you here doing this when you could be making good money? You could be making up to 100,000 a year, and you're doing this. Why? And that's how I start the conversation off.
I love it. What I want to know is, how did being a single mom shape your approach to training and perseverance while you were building these programs out?
Oh man, it was hard. It was because of the apprenticeship program that I was in, the plumbers and pipe fitters. It's a 5-year apprenticeship, so 5 years. You go to school at 2 nights a week at night. You're working sometimes 6 days a week, and sometimes you're not even working the typical, 5 in the morning to two. No, sometimes you have to do second shift or the third shift, or you have to adapt. And then plus the kids, they're in school, and I'm a single parent, and not getting child support, and so it was all on me. And it was hard. I'm not going to say that it's
Yeah.
easy. I'm not even going to sit here and say that. um, what I am going to say is you have to stay with it. You have to stick
Mm-hmm.
to it. um, you have to dig in, and you have to grab your resources and the people that support you, family or not, right? Sometimes it's not family that support you, sometimes it's friends, so it was difficult. I'm not going to say it was easy, but made it through it,
Well, that's the thing. If something's difficult, it's usually worth it.
And I'm glad you said that too, because that's the other part of this, to end up to making 100,000 a year was
Mm-hmm.
huge, you know, and also having a great trade to where once you're done with your apprenticeship, you can go to any country, any state, and go and make good money and travel. And then teach others too on what you're doing and help others to get into these trades, right? And talk about it. So it's I think it's a beautiful thing. It really is.
Yeah. So one thing that a lot of people experience when they're on that come up is they have either people who are doubting them, or you have the other side of it is pocket watchers. Did you have any experience with either?
I think all of it, and I think I still do. It
Yeah.
still happens. It's not. I found out because you get happy, right? You're like, oh, look what I'm
Hmm.
doing. This is so exciting. I'm helping so many women, youth, and then you got them ones that are sitting over there just waiting for you to fall on your face and being negative about what you're doing. And yes, that's hard. It is, but I'm
Yeah.
getting better at ignoring them I'm getting better at doing the calmness, and being calm and reacting and in all of that. And that takes time. I'm not saying I did it right away and it went all woof for me, right? But
Hmm.
I'm learning too that this is my story. This is my
Yeah.
mission. This is where I'm supposed to be at. This is my place. I found my place. To get the label of being the first black woman to get a plumber's license, that was given to me by either you can say God or higher powers or however you want to say it. I mean, it's not like I knew when I came here that that's what I was going to do, right? And this is what was going to
Hmm.
happen to me. So it's almost like the calling, right? And
Oh yeah.
I have to do it now. It's my purpose. So gotta enjoy it then, right? Once it becomes your purpose, you gotta take all of it that comes with it, right?
Yeah. And when you're building something from the ground up, something that's yours, this is like your fourth baby. Like this is your piece of the puzzle. Uh, if you could go back and taking all the knowledge you had now when you were building up, would you make the same choices, or is there anything that you would do a little bit differently in order to share that knowledge to someone who's starting something on their own?
I think everything was done for a reason. I really do. I think about all the other things I wanted to do, right? I was like, wow, I wanted to be a cop when I first got in the military. I think all of us kind of go into that, right? And and I missed it by 16th of a second. And they're like, nope, you missed your testing, your running by 16th of a second, you're out. Oh, okay. So what else am I gonna do, right? But
Hmm.
I think I'm here and I am accepting all the daggers, the jabs, the the negativity, the no's,
Yeah.
and to know that even though all that's still happening, and but look at what I'm doing out here to help these women, right? Changing their lives, and two, and the other part you said about keeping up with them too, right? It's important that
Yeah.
we just don't get them in the trades. It's important that we follow through. We keep up with them. We talk to them. How are you doing? How's your day going? And and that's important, right? You just don't get someone into a trade and leave them hanging. That's kind of
Mm-mm.
messed up, I think.
Yeah. And what was that spark that led you to found Nevada Women's in Trades in 2018 in the first place?
Because I was told I couldn't do it. I was literally told I can't do it. It's not going to happen. We did it already. It's not going to work. Okay. Um,
If you did it already, there wouldn't be a need for it.
and closed the door on my face. Did all that. Um, and I was and still is raising two young ladies that are going to be black women. And I wanted to show them the empowerment, the power, the know how that they have as women and as black women. That, hey, no is not a no. It just means go around
No.
it and figure it out. Right?
Yeah. So, for those of us who don't know, describe your course. I want to hear about the Pipeline Comprehensive course. Tell me a little bit about that. What does a 6 week, 150, 190-hour course actually look like?
Wow. It was a long road doing this. It was
Yeah.
going to, because again, everybody thinks that women in trades just popped out, right? Like, oh, just women. But there's women in trades in different states. And I didn't know that until after I journeyed out. I found these women in different states, and I found out that they're in Chicago, Ohio, Oregon. Utah has a women in trades. There's Missouri, there's Texas, Minnesota, West Virginia, and I'm like, wow. And then I realized, well, wait a minute, there's not one here in Nevada,
Yeah.
and I thought, well, okay, let's do it. Even though I knew it was going to be hard, didn't even know if it's going to be successful, because all the no's start happening, right? Like, oh my gosh, is this going to work? Am I going to be successful? Is this going to help? That's the main part, right? Is this really going to help? And so I start talking to my first year math instructor, Don Johnson, and I said, I want to do this. I want to bring something to Nevada that the other states are doing. And I was like, I don't know how many weeks I want to do it. I mean, I knew nothing, right? So from scratch, like you said. So I sat down and I was like, how many weeks should it be? What should it entail? So we come up with 6 weeks. We come up with Monday through Friday, helping them with their certifications, their OSHA, their CPR, forklift awareness. We know that they need help with the math, so we come up with the math part of it. We know that they need help with their resumes, because resumes is important. Little do people know that you need to have a sound resume on what you're interviewing for, not on just what you're doing, right? And we know interviewing too. Interviewing for trades is not the same for interviewing for McDonald's again, right? It's very intimidating. You sit at the table and you're surrounded by like 6, 7 people that surround you, and that's intimidating.
Yeah.
And you're not knowing the questions, you're not knowing anything, right? And so we make sure we help with that. I wanted to make sure that we went out in the community to the trades to look at how they do things too. Me, I can do the online things, but in person is kind of different too, the touchy-feely type of thing, because I'm that type of person too. So I wanted to make sure of that. And the reason why we're online is because when COVID hit, it was disastrous for everybody that had a nonprofit in an LLC. So I have a good friend that's on my board, and Sandra Cosgrove, and she's like, you're going to have to switch it to online. I was like, hell no, that's a lot of work to go from paper, right, to doing it online. And I'm like, oh my gosh, all the work, right? Because now we're installing, right, data. Oh my gosh, it was cray for a few months, right? But we pulled it off, and I'm so glad and grateful that I did this way, because kind of ahead of the game, right? That we can be online in the time frame of where we're online. 2 is 9 to 1. So if you have kids, you get them off to school, and at 9 in the morning, you can come back and get online. By 1 o'clock, we're done, no matter if we're doing any visitations or having speakers, right? We have enough time for you to pick up the kiddos at 2 o'clock if that's what you need to do. So it's really had to be calculated, right, on how we're doing this. But again, I just wanted to have this program be things that I know I needed, and support that I know I needed, and that's, here we are.
So let's celebrate those successes. Did you have a proud moment or a success story from a PCC graduate?
Well, we've had women that's journeyed out of IBW, out of the carpenters. We have 2 that are in the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Union. We have 1 that is in the Sprinkler Fitters are partners too. We have 1 in Spring. We have 1 that filled out the application for the operators, but the slow time, she couldn't wait. She had to get a different type of job, which is what happens a lot, when these apprenticeships are slow. Then that's hard to say to anyone, right? Oh, you got to wait. No, people got to feed their families and take care of themselves, or even other family members. So it's hard to say, oh, just wait, it's coming. They have to do what they have to do, right? I mean, Nevada Energy don't say, hey, I'm going to wait 6 months until you get a job and then you can pay us. That's not how this works. So.
Yeah. So you also have some experience, not just in Nevada Women's and Trades, but also in legislature. Tell me about your first legislative appearance, speaking in front of like the Nevada Assembly members, and how did that go?
That has been an interesting journey. I'm just going to have to say that. It's been an interesting journey. A good mentor of mine, he said, Evelyn, I know what you're doing. I'm glad you're doing it. He said, but you're just spinning. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? I'm like, I kind of got offense to that, right? I'm like, what do you mean I'm spinning? And, all the things I'm doing, all the people I'm helping. And he said, you're going to have to get in that legislation. You're going to have to change some things because otherwise you're going to keep bumping into walls. You're going to keep chasing your tail. And I'm like listening to him, right? Getting a little angry with him, right? But after I sat there a little bit more and listened to him, and he was right. He was right. You're going to have to change bills, laws. You're going to have to if things that you want to do to really make an impact. So I did this last session, the 83rd, the 82nd. I was able to get into the 81st a little bit and kind of get my feet wet, but I really did it in the 82nd. My bill AB 305 passed in both houses. It was to get a percentage of women to be mandated to be in the trades, both union and non-union. And the governor vetoed it and said women aren't interested in the trades. And of course, I went through it. I was, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. But I also went back and pulled my bootstraps up and went to the governor and asked him, how can I help? How can you help me help you? Because women need to be in these apprenticeships. They need to make money. They need to get off of food stamps, welfare, Section 8. And this is the way for them. Recidivism, too, coming out of jail. Let's not forget that part of this. That's big, too, And so he was like, okay. And he pointed me to some of his staff. But this time I did AB 222, which is about data. Because I'm like, okay, since you're telling me women aren't interested, let's do the data thing. Let's find out how many women are applying, not just in the apprenticeships, correct, but are applying. How many veterans are in these apprenticeships applying, and why did they get out? Why are they having barriers? And that got killed in government affairs. Didn't even get a work session because I kept hearing how confusing the bill was. And I'm like, how can data bill be confusing? But that doesn't mean I'm stopping, doesn't mean I'm giving up. That just means I got to march on, right? And find somebody to carry the bill again, to sponsor it for me.
And what do you think is the biggest barrier for female veterans getting into the trades, like right now?
I believe it's the test. I believe things are going on in their lives too. It's one thing to say, oh, just get a job, but wait a minute. What if I need daycare? What if I have a family member that needs medical treatment, or because I'm the one that's taking care of them, right? What if I need to get my driver's license? What if I need to, or whatever, something's going on with that, reason why I gotta fix it, What if I need a car? It's not just, okay, we need a job. Homelessness too, right? It's like, I don't understand why the state of Nevada doesn't know that we got to walk and chew gum at the same time. We can't just say, here's a job. We got to find out what the barriers are and why they're not working. Maybe there's some mental health going on that you need to fix too, or get worked on, right? And I'm just looking right now because, again, we got to walk and chew gum at the same time right now.
Yeah. So, in one sentence, who is Evelyn today?
Wow.
I know.
That was a good
one sentence. You got some limits.
Wow. Humbled. Inspired.
Love it.
Just loving being in the trenches. Love it. Love it.
And how did your self-identity evolve from becoming a vet to being a plumber to now being a nonprofit founder?
I think of everything I went through. I mean, us women, we go through a lot, you know?
Yeah.
Not to say men don't, but women go through a lot. And to went through the military and went through what I went through, and then went into the trades and went through more of things similar to what I went through in the military. And on the outside of this now, sitting here talking to you, very humbled, like I said, very proud of what I'm doing and who I'm helping. It's something. And the other thing I believe is these women that I'm talking to, I can honestly say that there's nothing you can tell me that will surprise me or you have gone through or your struggles because I get it. I done been through all of it and more, so they can't tell me, oh, I'm having a hard time with daycare. Well, wait a minute. I'm raising grandbabies. I get that. They can't tell me, oh, I went through sexual harassment. Oh, been through that. Know that. Can't tell me, oh, trying to find an apartment and everything with this. Nope, can't tell me that either. Been through that struggle. Moved here on my own, So that's the other, I think, great part of this right here is I can be there for them and mentor them and talk with them and be on the same level as them um, because I've been through it, going through it. Family members too, kids that are going through things, right? Grandkids that are going through
Yep.
things. So, yeah.
I mean, that's the age-old adage. The best way to help someone else is by facing the adversities that you've already been through.
Yes, and I really truly believe that your innies meaning self, like you just said, have to match your
Hmm.
outies. Because if your innies don't match your outies, you're stuck. And you're
Yeah.
very you're miscombobulated, right? You're kind of bouncing and boinging and everything. And until you really sit in that mirror and look in that mirror at that person and figure her or him out, you're going to be stuck for a minute. And I'm learning that and dealing with that. And so, yes.
Well, growth is cyclical. It's an everyday thing. It's not something that you can just do for like 6 months and then you're done for the rest of your life. No, it's something that you have to work towards every single day. And it's something that you get return on investment every single day.
Yeah.
It's that snowball effect of just progress. So I want to know, was there a slap in the face moment when you realized that doing the trades and doing what you're doing was no longer just for your kids, but it was for thousands of women?
I think there's a few moments, but
Yeah.
again, I think the very first is why I did this was being told that I couldn't do it, that it wasn't going to be successful. And like you even said, if it was so successful and it was done, then why am I still the only one out here? That's the other part
Yeah.
of this right here, right? Why am I in these prisons and jails and going to other organizations to help women veterans to spread the word, yeah, there's still slaps happening. And what it does for me, yes, I go through it. I do. Now, I'm not saying I'm not
Hmm.
human, but then I have to gather myself up and say, okay, now you're done. And you can't sit in it either. That's the
Mm-mm.
other part I'm learning, right? Is that, and it's hard because I mean to say that, don't sit in it. Don't go through months of mental health. But I'm learning that, okay, give myself some time to go through the smacks and the daggers and the this and the snubs and the oh type of things, right? And or telling me how they can do it better and all of that. And then I just have to give myself a little bit of couple of days and then I have to snap out of it. Because you're right. there's a lot of women out here that are depending on my voice because they don't have a voice. They don't know where to get started at. They don't know how to do this. They don't know if they're going to make it through the apprenticeships. And then I text them, hey, how you doing? How things going? And they're like, wow, she really texts me.
Yeah.
Wow, you really called me. Yeah. Because once you're part of Nevada Women Trades, you're family. And I try to stay up with, unless you're not responding to me, but I do text the women that even came through, and didn't make the tests, right? I connect to them. How you doing? How's this? How's that? And so it's, yeah, it's it's forever, right?
Yeah.
To be doing this because that it's needed in the community. This. Just like us doing what we're doing right now, that this is needed.
Mm-hmm.
And the more you do it, and you get humbled from doing this, right? Because sometimes the reality check happens to you too. Like you said, like, ooh, I didn't know that was happening with me. And you find out new things about yourself too.
Oh, every single day. And so with those reality checks, those daggers, those slaps in the face, what is that one thing that keeps you going during those hard days? Like the days where it feels like, I don't know if I can keep going, but you just keep pounding through.
Moments like this, right here, where I get to talk and speak and mentor, or maybe even grab someone that's listening to me right now in you that needed this conversation, right? And I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying that, 1 minute snap out of it. I'm saying you can't stay in it. You can't. Mm-mm. And I'm actually going through another phase too, where I'm not really, it ain't no really, I'm not okay with you having 1 foot in the dirt and 1 on the couch, and you're shouting and telling me, oh, we need to do this, or, well, why are you doing that? Either you're in the trenches with me or you're not, and clearly move the hell out of my way. That's how I feel right now. Because the negativity and all of that is, especially if you're not doing anything, right? And you try to tell me how to do, like, I'm like, excuse you? So, yeah.
Yeah. So I really want to know, and I know you know the answer to this. Why is it that only 2% of Nevada's skilled trade workforce is women?
And now you really know why I did this, right?
Yeah.
This had to be done. And again, with the label I was given, I guess I was the one to do it, I'm really pushing this because it's almost like they're okay with not doing marketing. Because think about it. Do you see marketing? So
no.
I'm just saying, right? I'm not saying anything that's not truthful. The marketing has to be better. Getting and being and solidifying and supporting Nevada Women Trades needs to be better. Going out here and just like we're doing right here, going out there and making sure there's resources for the barriers that are happening too, because that's a big thing too, right? Is the barriers.
And what are those systemic barriers that women are facing entering the workplace?
And it could even be domestic, right? It could be they have facing domestic violence in their relationships, right? And this person is holding them back and telling them they can't, and that's a lot of it too, right? Or they're in jail and they get out of jail and they're like, okay, I need to make money, but the only way I know how to make money is this way, right? Because again, you got to survive too.
Yeah.
And if that survival is not happening, you're going to go back to what you were doing. We all know that, right? So let's not play games about that. And there needs to be other resources for these women that are in Florence McClure, Jean, and Casa Grande to give them more resources. Yes, they say they can do hair and they have hair and cosmetology, but again, coming out here when you get out, there's things you need to do to put that in place. So we have to have more resources and of things, and that's what Nevada Women in Trades is here and moving with and doing and saying, hey, like the Energizer Bunny boinking all over the place, right? That we need
Yeah.
resources for these women. We need to let them know there's trades. We need to let them know that we can help them with the barriers and set up things so they'll be able to be successful, right? And I'm not saying that
Yeah.
everybody wants to get out of jail, prison, or the military and want to do trades, but we still need to give them choices and help them.
I mean, exactly. That hits home hard. And I just wish that the policymakers and unions really understood the importance of it and gave it that hard push. What's one thing that you think that they need to understand to make them get it?
Pass the bill.
Pass the bill.
Pass the bills. Because look at me. I've been doing this since 2018. Like, really?
Yeah.
It'll be 7 years. September 18th is my anniversary. 7 years. You would think when I have the interviewing application process that room is full. And I'm still receiving phone calls saying, well, I didn't know you were here. Wow, I didn't know this was going on. Or I went to this other program and I can't find a job. And I'm like, okay. And I paid $30,000 for the program that I went through for trades, and I still can't find a job. That's disappointing to me.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, well, wait a minute. We don't even cost that much, right? We're not as we don't cost that much. You can go on our website and see what our prices are and everything for getting into our program. And then to find out you have other organizations out here charging 30 G's and they're not even being placed, I'm like, wow. So, yeah.
I mean, you offer full service. It really. How do you mentor or coach someone after graduation?
So we stay with them. We hit the ground running, like I tell them. As soon as graduation happens, we're hitting the ground running. Everybody, this is just beginning. We want to make sure they apply for as many apprenticeships as they can to, because again, if you just do one. Just think about it. So you want to apply for one apprenticeship. Then what if they tell you no, you're not accepted? Then you're sitting there, you're stressed out, you're depressed. But if you apply for all of them and as many apprenticeships, 4 or 5 as you can, then you got choices, right? Something doesn't work. Oh, well, wait a minute. Operators call me. Oh, the laborers call me. Oh, wait a minute. IBEW call me. Now you can sit there and be like, oh, okay. Which one do I really want to do? Which one do I want to get into? Or you know what I mean? Because then you got more choices. And so we help them with that. I'm not saying, and I can't even say that you're guaranteed to get an apprenticeship by coming through Nevada Women Trades. But what I can say is we'll walk you through. We'll help you. We'll get you to the gate. We'll even turn the knob for you. But you're going to have to apply. You're going to have to be the one doing the interviewing. You're going to have to be on the job to be on time and be there and show up and do the work. But we're going to be there with you the whole step. We are. We're going to be there.
Hell yeah. Is there a myth about trades that you wish people would finally stop believing?
That women are not interested in the trades. That would be the biggest myth. It really would. The biggest.
It's money. It's money.
100,000 you can make a year? Are you kidding me? Or two, the other part is they don't want to be outside, right? Oh, I don't want to work outside. It's hot. It's this, it's that. And I'm like, you're getting $1,500 a week paycheck. And
Mm-mm.
you don't want to work outside. Okay. And then I'm okay with that. I let them go. They go their way. I go my way. But I know when I got my first check on my first gig by State Line, it was a powerhouse. And I got my first check and it was $1,500. And I was like, woo, wait a minute. Because we were working overtime and everything. And
Mm-hmm.
oh my gosh, I thought it was a fake check. I thought they were playing games with me. And went to my journeyman and I was like, wait a minute, what's going on here? And they're like, what do you mean, what's going on? I said, this says $1,500 on this check. I have never in my life received 1 week of pay for $1,500. And it was the life changing for me, period. You know, it changed my whole life. It changed everything. Made me independent more too. You know, so it was great. It was great. And speaking of the apprenticeships, you go through your 3 year, your 4 year, your 5 year, and each year you go through your first year of, like, in the plumbers and pipe fitters is math, and you go through your HVAC for a year, or you go through welding for a year, and what happens is you have to go to school either at night or during the day, and you have to get good grades too. You have to show up on time. You gotta be to work and do what you're there for. And I want to
Yeah.
really clear state that the trades is not for these women to find a husband or a wife. That's not what's
Mm-mm.
happening. What's happening is you need to get in there, keep your head down, do what you're tasked to do, work with your journeyman, know who your foreman is, your GF is. If you have any problems, give Evelyn a call, right? Um, because they don't want us there most of the time. Most of the men don't. And they don't care if you look purple, have 4 ears, 4 tails, and got hair all over your head. You are the prettiest thing that walked on that job site. So that's why I'm saying go there to do the purpose of going to school, going to work, stay out of the mess. And yes, the men are going to talk off the wall and swear and do all this other stuff. Long as it's not directed to you, don't worry about it. Keep on moving. Pick your battles.
Yeah.
Pick your battles.
So you address harassment for them. If that happening,
Oh, yes.
oh hell yeah. How do you address that with gender bias in the job sites?
So we even have a class on that. And because that, again, I wanted to have things that I didn't have, right, when I was going through. And we have a class on sexual harassment, and let them know where they can go and file charges and who they need to talk to, EEOC, and all of that. Oh, yeah. That's a whole. And I have these women journaling too. I start them journaling in the pipeline class that we have because I want them to get in the habit of writing down what they do during the day, what happened, what they installed. So, because you never know, right? You might come back, they
Yeah.
may come back, oh, well, you didn't work on this day and you only installed this much, or they might have something where they were harassed on that day and they have it wrote down. So it's very important to journal. Very important to do that.
Heck yeah. So if there's someone listening that's like, I want to help these women get this bag, what is something that they can do to support Nevada women in trades?
I would love them to get a hold of me at Evelyn at Nevada, spelled out, WIT.org. If they want to help with marketing and any of those things, and if you want to be a part of the program, I would like you to email us at info at Nevada, spelled out, WIT.org. My phone number is 702-801-6591. And just marketing is the biggest thing. I'm going to keep saying that. Marketing, getting us out here and what we're doing, where we're going. We got a summit we got coming up September 26th. And that would be cool to have those attend. We're going to have raffles. You can buy tickets. You can buy a table. We're going to have speakers. We're going to be talking about empowering women in non-traditional careers. So there's things like that that you can really support us on, and that would be helpful.
So, if there's a veteran that's struggling through this process, what is something you would tell them, a little nugget that you're going to give them to help them get through their journey, whether that be through struggling mentally or finding a job or learning their place in the world?
That's really another on my wheelhouse, right? Another thing in my wheelhouse, because I am a veteran Black woman, and getting involved with veterans, with other veterans, seeing how, I'm not saying all of us are okay either. I'm not saying that, but like-minded people is kind of the better thing to do, right? And to be involved in that. And because we kind of know a little bit what you're going through when others look at you like, oh my gosh, what is that? We're kind of like, yep, know that, been through that, seen that, dealing with that. And I also want to say that if anybody needs help with claims, because that is so important. You're owed that. So I hear so much, oh, I don't want to do my claims. I don't want everybody to do that. No, you're owed the claims. And so not only do we help you with getting your career, want to help with jobs, want to help with housing, have some connections for housing too. So not just out here doing jobs, because like I said, it's more than just that. So we can help with housing. I can help you with finding a way to get your claims done. We can just have conversation. You just need somebody to talk to and call up and say, oh my gosh, this is what's going on with me. Because you never know. I might need that talk too.
Yeah.
So it's important.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Evelyn, for coming on here and joining me. This is the one woman show right here. So you need to reach out to her. I'm going to have her full information right here. It's going to go bloop. And we'll be talking soon. Again, Evelyn, thank you so much.
I appreciate you. Thank you for letting me do this. And thank you for the questions and bringing up some things that I needed to say. I really appreciate that.